So I have it on good authority that Chris Pratt is the new Mario permanently.
Yeah, that sounds like a pack of fucking lies, Paul. Any other yarns you want to spin us, huh?
You
Huh?
didn't get that
Huh?
memo? I got the email too. I thought it went to everybody at COG because we were supposed to write about it, but I've heard
Yeah,
it's confirmed Chris Pratt
yeah.
permanently
And
replaced.
then Charles Martinet will in turn be playing Chris Pratt in all of his future roles.
Okay, well that's
You know
just
what?
silly. That's
They're doing
just
a hot
silly
swap.
now. Okay.
I would
Now
love.
now you're getting a little out of hand.
No. I would
Uh-huh.
love to see Charles Martinet doing the Chris Pratt hands out, stopping the beasts. You know that thing he does in every movie now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody somebody
Like,
pointed
whoa,
out
Velociraptor, stop! My hand says stop.
So lame.
It's, I,
some
he's
somebody
those
pointed
movies
out that
suck.
Charles Martinet's last line he did for Nintendo, like last Mario type line, was in the movie where he plays their dad and he goes, "These are my boys." And everybody's like, "Oh, what a perfect last line, Charles." And he's referring to the Mario brothers. It's like, "Yes, yes, they are. Always and forever, Charles."
No, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that sounds much like a passing of the torch
Mhm.
Yeah.
directly to
And
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
well, apparently the Super Mario Wonder, it's the new dude. And I had no idea because it sounds like like magnificent, like just whoever they found does a
That's
perfect imitation of Charles Martinet.
that's what I was gonna say. Mario doesn't speak enough for this to matter in the slightest.
Yeah,
Anybody can me to me. Anybody can do it.
Yeah,
I watched.
anybody who can do a moderately offensive Italian accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll slot right in there and you won't even know the difference, like you were saying, James.
I know a couple of YouTubers who do a pretty good Mario.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, hey everybody, we're streaming now.
Hello.
This is Press
Oh
X
my
the
god.
podcast. We're back. It's been less than a week, and we're back because we're trying to get back on that old schedule.
I
So
like this.
we're here to talk about video games. I know what we're talking about. Haven't forgotten video games. They're cool. We've played them, and James and I can talk about some of them this week. So
Oh my god. It feels like it's been 1,000 years. Yeah.
James, you wanna kick us off with maybe let's talk about Immortals of Aveum because I'm curious to hear more.
Sure. I had no expectations for that game. I was just like I saw it on the list. I was like, "Oh man, it's like a first person shooter but with magic. That rips." And my estimation was correct. Um well, there's some fun things. Uh it's a cool like rock paper scissors sort of combat mechanic, only instead rock beats rock, paper beats paper and scissors beats scissors. So, like, slightly dumber, but in the heat of the moment when you're, like, out there shooting and dodging and shit, it's nice to not have to think about it that much where you're just like, blue man gets the blue magic," and you shoot it at him, and then he crumbles. It's great. Or what you can do is what I did, where you have 3 different tech trees you can dump your points into, and I found out that red magic is basically the magical equivalent of a shotgun. And I was like, well, all of my points are going to this. Clearly, every single point I get is going to Magic Shotgun. And boy, oh boy, Magic Shotgun rules.
It looks pretty cool. Is this like a an RPG or is it an action game? Like what's going on here?
Oh, it's solidly an action game. It's got some little like RPG like amuse bouche, little hors d'oeuvres, little sort of window dressing scattered around the side where you're like, you can put points into shit and it makes a difference ostensibly. I mean, it does a little bit, but like really it's kind of about your ability to like handle your spaces and fucking pick your targets and do all that crazy shit. Um the writing is corny and insane, which I love mostly. They call the big battle that they're always fighting in the Ever War. That will never stop being amazing to me.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the Ever War. And I'm happy to report that all of the like naming conventions and the writing all nicely slot into that same tone, and it fucking rules.
The Ever War, brought to you by the Military Industrial Complex.
Yeah. The dialogue is a little bit on the quippy side, which I don't really care. Like, it's fine. I personally think that we as a society are coming up to the point where quippiness is poisonous, like where we can't do it anymore. Like it becomes like a catchphrase that's worn out its welcome. But we're not quite there yet. Certain people have definitely noticed it in the critical space, this larger problem with games and quippiness and like how fucking exhausting it can be. But like for me, I'm like, it's fine, man. There's not too much of it. They sprinkle it in nicely. It's mostly just that overly sincere, slightly insane writing where like every new term they come up with for like a pretty ordinary thing sounds insane and magical and super fantasy. So it's like we're fighting this enemy army in this region and we have to pass through this route to get there. And that's a perfect opportunity for them to sprinkle in like 12 words you've never heard in your fucking life and didn't exist before now.
Mm-hmm.
It rules. It fucking rules. I'm sorry. If I'm not making that clear enough, it fucking rules. Combat feels nice. Graphics are great. I love the different colors of magic shooting off at every direction at every opportunity. Just like you got a fucking fireworks gun and you're just like launching it at every chance you get. And dodge roll has a cooldown, which I don't like.
Ooh.
I'll bitch about that forever. It's a form of green magic, right? So it's got a spot in the tech tree. So ostensibly, but I wouldn't know because again, all my points went into red. You can reduce that cooldown, but like, I never did. I just didn't. I just didn't. I just relied on being able to hit them as hard as I possibly could, as fast as I could.
That's fine. As long as you
Which
can keep putting out magic shotgun, all is
yeah.
well.
Except a little ways into the game, they're like, okay, for a while now, it hasn't really mattered. You can just hit anybody with a magic shotgun and it's fine. Then they get these like floating shitheads who are like, I'm pure blue magic. If you use anything but blue on me, I'm going to laugh and cut you into thirds. And you're like, okay. Okay, fine. And again, because this is more of an action game than an RPG, you can still use your unpowered shit, like that you haven't dumped any points into, and it's fine. You're fine. You'll be fine. But not as good.
Just not as cool.
But it's not that hard to gain levels, and you can just keep pumping points into things until all three forms of magic are like goose right up. And you generally trade, at least with a magic shotgun, you trade raw power for how many rounds you have before you have to like reload, which is just you doing this tick-tock with your hand, and it's just like I'm reloading the magic because again, this is just a first-person shooter with magic.
Yeah, reload.
It's
the
fun as
magic.
hell,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I really like it. I think people are gonna fucking dig this, man. It's great.
It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. I'm a big fan of any game where you can upgrade stuff and you can specifically choose to go heavily in one direction. Like that's been my plan in Final Fantasy 16 is save up a bunch of points and then just make sure that the super attacks are mastered as fast as possible. So, just spam basic attacks and then launch Judgment Bolt level 3,
Hell yeah,
mess
buddy.
everybody
Hell yeah.
up, and then just wait because it's
Yeah,
rad every time.
it is. It is.
I could talk about the game that I was playing, which was Fort Solis.
All right.
Unfortunately, it is a little soulless. Just thought of that. Should have made that the tagline in the review. Didn't do that.
You still got time.
I could change it.
Yeah.
Just like you can change the score after the fact. It's not like there's,
Oh, yeah.
review aggregators out there who will find you. Fort Solis. It's sorry, just gonna skip the footage ahead there. It is a walking simulator.
Okay.
1000% it's a walking simulator. There's a lot of holding forward, a lot of pressing X to interact. We love to press X to do things.
You do.
To interact is a little boring. stars Roger Clark, most notably known as Arthur Morgan in Red Dead 2, and Troy Baker, who's in everything and is always good. And those two guys are pretty good. The writing is not bad, but this game is super confused about what it thinks it is. It wants to be this creepy horror adventure, you never know what lurks around every corner kind of situation, but it diffuses its own tension constantly along the way because your character Jack is forever in contact with somebody else. There's somebody else on the radio at all times, and it diffuses the tension in such a way that, like, I never cared. There was never any threat of going around a corner because there was somebody else in your helmet.
Huh.
I-
Okay.
Yeah, I
I feel
find
ya.
both things were done well. Like the camaraderie between Jack and Jessica, who's the other engineer on the radio, good. The environment, the atmosphere, also good. Together, they cancel each other out in a weird way. Yeah. Bit of a miss. Bit of a miss on this one. It's also like catastrophically short. It's like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
And on my first run through, that 2.5 hours covered over 90% of the logs and shit that you can do. Like there's not a lot here, honestly. But
Well, all they could afford to pay fucking Baker and Clark for.
yeah, probably. I'm confident they spent a lot of the budget on those two dudes.
Yeah.
A lot of it. But
Well, it's just
it does use Unreal Engine 5, one of the first real games to come out that's using Unreal Engine 5, and it looks really nice. The environments in particular look great. All that UE5 tech for tiny rocks and lighting and particles and all that stuff looks really, really good. I wanted to spend more time outside on Mars because that would be cool, but most of it is inside Fort Solis, as you might imagine. The most disturbing thing about this whole game, though, is one of the only things you really do is do QuickTime events.
Oh, no.
And
Okay.
I tested this thoroughly. It does not matter if you hit a single one of them.
Oh. Okay. That's not great.
There's no fail state.
awesome.
The the QuickTime events, they're not very well presented, so they're easy to miss a lot of the time. And that doesn't matter. You don't
Do
hit
you
the
do you
you don't
even
hit
get
the
like a
button.
slight change to the cutscene? Do you stumble or fuck up in some way during your action sequences?
You stumble a little bit, but it's very minor. Very minor.
Okay.
So I just stopped doing them. And I don't know if that's intended or not, but
Yeah.
I don't know. This
You're
is
just like, it's fine. You could just put the controller down.
it's fine if you want to have a game that's more of a ride. If it's more of just telling you a story and you just happen to be there reading the logs and doing that shit, that's fine. But it begs the question, why bother putting QuickTime events if they don't matter? And
That's weird.
this whole time we've been talking about Fort Solis, the video that has been playing is Jack trying to climb a wall. It is glacially slow. You just move at the speed of a snail in the winter.
Okay.
I-
It's not great.
I shudder to think how long this game would be if you moved at a decent speed.
Mhm.
It'd be like an hour.
What'd you play it on?
Played it on PS5. It's got a quality mode and a performance mode. Performance mode and quality mode look very much the same. Performance mode obviously runs better, so I'd do that.
Right.
It does feel like UE5 is pushing the limits of these consoles, though. I don't imagine we'll be seeing too much 60 frames per second UE5 games on the PS5 and the Xbox. She chugs along in a few places.
Do you think that's a matter of the people knowing how to work within that framework, or do you think it's just like, no, it's a hardware limit, we're not getting around it?
I could see it being a hardware limit. Like there's a lot going on in a lot of the environments.
Well, when they first showed off UE5, one of the big things that they were showcasing about it was how easy it was to use.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You know,
It could be easy to use and impossible to put the hardware together for, right? We're just like, as long as you have the most powerful computer ever built by human hands, God, it's just like paint by numbers, man.
yeah.
Just drop shit in. We're like, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most developers out there know how to use Unreal Engine in general, being one of the most popular things out there. So I don't, there's new features and stuff, but I'm sure the mechanics of how to build an Unreal Engine game are mostly the same. So anyway, Fort Solis. Uh, I had high hopes. It didn't. It didn't connect.
It's unfortunate.
Too bad, so sad. Hopefully,
Yeah.
the next thing I'm reviewing, which I can't talk about but could say the name of, is better. That being Sea of Stars.
Right. I think the odds of it I think the odds of it being better are pretty good.
Well, there was a demo of it a while back, and I liked the demo.
Okay. Yeah.
Rhett, what have you been up to in the last few days?
Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Nothing really. Just
Oh
trying to
my
survive
god.
out here.
Right.
Trying to
Yes, because your world's on fire.
Right.
world's
Okay.
on fire. Um, have I been playing anything new? No. Just finished up the Baldur's Gate review.
Mm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's really what's been going on over the past little bit.
What did you end up scoring Baldur's Gate?
A 99.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What took off that
It's
1 point?
some frame rate issues, some pop in, minor stuff like that. But especially when you get to Baldur's Gate, the game does chug along a little bit.
Mm.
But I don't know. I really was debating between giving it 100 and the 99, but I don't know. I have a tough time giving a game 100.
I hear that.
You know.
I think we should split hairs even further. I don't.
99.5?
99.5, 99.9.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
get
I
deep
feel
into
like
the decimals. Let's go to the 10,000 point scale.
I feel like pop-in and frame rate issues are worth at least a point.
Right?
Right?
They must
Like
be.
I
that's a
agree.
point.
I agree. Especially maybe if they didn't happen in the town that the fucking name of the game comes from. But this entire time I was anticipating getting to Baldur's Gate. I couldn't wait, and then I got there and the game just didn't run quite as well as it did in all the other areas, so a little bit disappointing. Plus, I definitely docked it because as somebody that's new to Dungeons and Dragons, new to Baldur's Gate, I didn't really feel like they did everything they could to welcome a new player, such as myself. Like I spent a lot of my early hours looking up YouTube tutorials and whatnot, trying to figure out why this is happening and that's happening, etc.
Well,
You know,
Rhett, I've played a bit of D&D in my time, and my understanding is that's sort of a big feature of the game itself. It's just there's just so goddamned much information.
hmm
It can generally feel a little overwhelming.
yeah,
Um, especially if you're playing D&D and you're like, I'm gonna roll up a spellcaster of some sort. It's like, oh man, I'm just gonna pour over these books for I don't know, 2 to 4 hours looking through every possible spell and seeing what I want to do and how I want to land and what kind of shit I want to play as,
hmm
or just like skills in general. It's just like it's a long, arduous process just creating somebody, and then you
totally,
have the skies. The possibilities aren't limitless, but they are limited only by the imaginations of you and the DM and
yeah,
your fellow party members, which is just about boundless.
yeah,
So yeah, it's an overwhelming system, but that's
totally,
normal, and it's normal to feel that way if it's your first time getting into it.
right. But yeah, I ended the review by saying that Baldur's Gate 3 will be in the conversation for greatest games of all time for the rest of time now. So
Wow.
it really will.
High
It really
praise.
will. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it might not be your style of game, but I think that it's disingenuous to not at least have it in that conversation.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, sheer amount of game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy the stories that developers are up in arms. They're upset about this game. No, they probably
Oh,
think it's a pretty fucking cool game.
sweet.
Uh,
Of course.
but
If you're a
things aren't going to
developer,
touch this.
you grew up a fan of video games, and there's no reason you wouldn't find at least several things to appreciate in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people will be replaying this forever, looking for those mythical
Forever.
17,000 endings.
I guarantee 10 years from now, it's like The Witcher. You'll still see every now and then, you'll see something new. Or Breath of the Wild, that's another one. You'll still see videos that come out today of new things that have been discovered in those games. And I feel like that is very much going to be Baldur's Gate. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you'll be seeing something that nobody's ever found in the game before.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've still yet to download it, but I need to.
PC?
Yeah, I'll go PC.
Yeah, baby. Let's start a fucking campaign.
Let's do it. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
Dude, it's like 90. The last time I checked, I think it was 97 critic score on Metacritic, 90 or 9.3 maybe user score. Which that's got to be one of the highest scores I've ever seen for it. Or for a game.
96 on Metacritic.
96?
Yep.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah. James, I know you're
Yeah.
playing something else, and it's one of
Yes.
those things that is uniquely James. This is your jam all the way, 100% full throttle. James Paley, tell us about the Cosmic Wheel of the Sisterhood.
Well, the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood is another game from Deconstruct Team. They're the guys that did the Red Strings Club and Gods Will Be Watching. So you have a rough idea of what sort of experience you're getting into when you start up Cosmic Wheel. And I was struck by the presentation, by the carefully constructed visuals, by the general vibes of the story that are very like welcoming and understanding and accepting and very inclusive, but at the same time very serious and very high stakes and very much like about like the terrible cost of like magic and the terrible cost of like just the great decisions and like um all that sort of thing. And the actual mechanics of like building cards, building decks of cards, shit is cool, man. Because like you've got three separate components. There's like the background or the setting, there's the sort of main character of the card, and then there's the sort of like the accoutrement, right, that are added in around the sides and the edges. And depending on what you choose to combine from those three elements, you get a totally different reading whenever you use this thing in fortune telling. And when the protagonist, when she tells reads their fortunes or whatever, it's not like, oh, you're gonna be lucky in love. It's like, you're gonna start a war, or there are corpses buried in your garden, or like, you're gonna die of cancer. It's just like, it's like crazy shit. And
The good stuff, the kind of thing you're hoping for if you walk into like a palm reading or a psychic.
yeah,
Like you
this
want to
is
hear
Getting
like,
cancer?
yeah,
Wow, maybe not.
well, or to like
that.
know,
Maybe not. Maybe not
but
that.
Right.
but like, there's a whole bunch of, because like circumstances change dramatically when you do readings, because you lay the card out, and then because you sometimes you get like 2 or 3 different spots you can put it down, and then when you do, then it's like different potential outcomes, and it's based on all these potential outcomes and which ones you choose and which ones you sync up is how the fucking story goes. Because I was like reading about some other people's playthroughs, and it was like, oh yeah, I didn't do any of that shit. And like right at the beginning, you're asked to make this like incredibly intense choice where it's okay, you're making a deal with the behemoth. It's a crazy god out of time and space that's older than the universe. And it's gonna let you make your own deck and like escape your imprisonment and, take control of your life. But like you have 3 options for the final price you have to pay to this fucker, and all of them are bad. All of them are fucked, man, where it's just like, do you want to sacrifice yourself, the person you care about most, or like all of your friends? It's just like, oh, fuck, I don't know. yeah,
Interesting.
it's like the Red Strings Club was an amazing game with an intense story. I feel like Cosmic Wheel outpaces it pretty dramatically in terms of like intensity and pacing and like consequences and circumstances. It's fucking fascinating. Plus, as a like, you know, a former tarot card reading weirdo, you know, back in my early 20s when I was like, fucking around with divination tools and teaching people crazy shit. It had a real soft spot in my heart for like doing cool shit with cards. I thought that ripped, man. That was great. Yeah, highly recommend Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, especially if you have any fondness for any of this team's other games in the past. In fact, I've never played Gods Will Be Watching, and now I feel like I really fucking have to, because so far like 2 out of 3 have been absolute bangers.
You see, I'm surprised to hear that this is such a heavy game. I thought it was set in the same universe as the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I'm I'm I was way off.
A little bit, Rhett. Just a skosh, just by like a half degree.
Yeah,
Just a
my
little bit.
bad. My bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to derail for half a second because while you were explaining the ins and outs of the Cosmic Wheel, Rhett ate what I think must be the most disgusting sunflower seed he's ever put in his mouth.
Yeah, you noticed that, eh?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Truly awful. I don't know what happened with that seed. Truly awful. Sorry.
I missed that, and I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
I feel pretty happy that I did not witness this, and sad for all the people that did.
I'd recommend going back to the VOD because I found it humorous.
Yeah.
Okay,
I liked it.
dope.
Good. I'm
James, I
glad.
want to ask you about the soundtrack in this game because Red Strings Club had a banging soundtrack.
Same dude,
Nice.
same extremely talented person. Fingerspit doing the music. Music is fucking excellent. Um, really contributes to the absolutely powerful vibes that this game brings. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna do another run through this weekend. Actually, just give it another go round. Just start from scratch, make some different decisions, do some crazy shit. See how it shakes out.
How long is it?
It's pretty short. I think you can run through it in like I think I did it in like 6 hours maybe.
Hmm.
But then like again, it's got heavy replay value because every reading subtly changes the ending of the game. And
Uh,
like
yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and the consequences that you have to live with whatever your choices be are generally so fucking dire that you're like, what if I could do something different where things don't suck quite as hard? Because there's like the choice I made at the beginning, I was like, well, I don't want to sacrifice myself, and now I'm like, maybe I want to sacrifice myself. Maybe that's what I should have fucking done because like I fucked over a lot of people real bad by the end. It's just like there's like shit's like burning down around you, people are on fire, things are horrible. I'm like, I made some poor decisions.
We're currently observing a pizza making mini game in the video
Oh, hell
that's
yeah.
on the stream, and it looks good. Like you could make a pretty slick pie, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got all the right ingredients there.
Yeah.
Got your
Um,
ronies, you got your shrooms, some
Oh,
black
yeah.
olives.
Fun fact, that is a mini game you could absolutely fuck up because the two people you're cooking for have pretty specific tastes. It turns out, I found out after the fact. One's like, "Oh, I'm a vegetarian." I'm like, "Oh, fuck off." The other one's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"I'm allergic to this thing." I'm like, "Here, eat your pie."
Doesn't look like you're able to put pineapple on pizza, so somebody developing this game had some sense.
You a pineapple hater?
On pizza? What are you, a fucking psychotic?
Yes.
No, Rhett. Well, yes, but also I'm the sort of person who grabs life by the throat or the nuts or both. I don't know,
By the
and just really
pineapples.
lives it to the fullest. Smokes it to the filter, Rhett. And you
Good man.
can't do that with a little fruit in your pizza. You know what's great? If you're feeling really adventurous and insane, if you have access to a wood fire oven, not only do you put pineapple on that motherfucker, you slice thin some little chunks of watermelon. So you get yourself a sort of like fruit and cheese
Listen, man,
and,
Yeah,
and
you've gone
take your
too far
fruit and
with the
cheese
watermelon.
pizza, go grab some nuts, and take it elsewhere. I want any of that. What'd you say? Watermelon on pizza?
That's too far. That's too far.
I was at a pizza making event. I have a very good friend who has a wood fire oven, a real one, where cooking a pizza takes a minute. And when cooking a pizza takes 1 minute, you start to get real fucking brave. Because like if you blow it or you make something accidentally disgusting, it's fine. Another one is maybe 3 minutes away. So you know you're like after your first or second pizza, you're like, fuck it, let's do something wild. Let's really, let's really roll the dice and see what happens. And apparently, watermelon and pineapple, magnificent, delicious. Combination of sweet and savory that has to be seen to be believed. But I've also put apple and fig balsamic and brie on a pizza, and I thought that was fucking amazing as well.
Jesus
But
Christ.
it turns out I'm just a pizza degenerate.
You know who else I heard likes watermelon and pineapple on pizza?
Mm.
Pol Pot.
Wow, deep cut. Wasn't expecting that one. Was expecting a dictator. Not that one though. Good call,
Yeah.
Rhett.
Yeah. But if you want to, if you want to keep enjoying that stuff, fine.
Ah, yep, good
That
old
that
Pol Pot.
diabolical man, Khmer Rouge, and
He was. He really was. You
watermelon.
know.
All right.
Just like people being like Hitler was a vegetarian. I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I this maniac is making quite a pie here. He's got a smiley face on it, smiley mushroom face.
Nice.
Do you
And-
need to do shit like that, or can you just slap the ingredients on and go forward? Are you gonna get like bonus sisterhood for creating this happy face pizza?
extra
I think
pants.
you get bonus sisterhood for feeding them something they actually like.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was sort of after the fact when I found out what they were into.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it rips. Get it. Get it immediately. Don't wait. What are you doing? Get this fucking game. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm no to. Also, as a quick little side note, um, I've been messing around with controllers because PowerA sent me 3 of them. They're wired Xbox controllers, and so far, I, I personally am a proponent of having wired backups on hand at all times.
Yeah.
Because controllers have to be charged these days, and if one's in the process of being charged, and you're like, well, I don't really need to deal with that shit right now. Or if you want a cheap alternative like the little brother controller, right? Where you're playing couch co-op or doing some shit like that, and you want something that won't break the bank. PowerA makes some pretty fucking decent wired controllers that'll get the job done.
And which
He
one have
sent
you
you
been?
3, huh?
Yeah. What have you been
Yeah.
testing? Which ones?
There's I think it's called the Advantage, and it's like, There's one with like a purple lightning pattern, which is like got like a volume knob built into the front, right in front of the headphone jack. And then there's one that's got like a sparkle pattern on it that lights up when you hit it with the light properly. It's like a galaxy kind of pattern. I think it's literally called sparkle pattern on the website. And then there's the white Spectra controller, which has RGB lighting in it. And you can change the settings so it either glows a particular color or it cycles between them, which is great. I have one for the Switch and I use it all the fucking time. I love it.
It looks basically indistinguishable from an Xbox controller.
Oh yeah, no,
if it's in any way cheaper, based on the quality of Xbox controllers lately, this is probably preferable.
Dude,
yeah.
shoot one over to your boy. They sent you 3? Are they all the same controller, just different designs on them?
Oh no, there's different.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one lights up, one
Right.
has the like volume knob and shit, and one just has the sparkle pattern. But yeah, I'm gonna have
Hook our guy up with the RGB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fire one off. Is this? Dude, the one I have? It's getting worse. It's getting
Mhm.
worse. I can't even sit in menus with games anymore. It's
You
always
Oh,
just
it's that bad.
Dude, it's up and down the menus. I can't select options. I can't do anything.
Oh no, you gotta put the thing out to pasture, man. Take it up behind the barn.
SOS.
Yeah.
The thing I've seen with my Xbox controller lately is the D-pad double inputting.
Oh yeah.
So trying to type something, trying to execute any kind of move in a 2D game, no.
Yeah,
just,
baby.
just forget about it.
Fuck, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
My solution so far has been to have 3 controllers that I just cycle between, so that none of them has any sort of wear and tear.
Oh yeah, it's easy to
Yeah.
have that. Easy for that to be a solution when you got companies sending you 3 sticks at a time. That sounds fucking nice.
Yeah, strictly speaking, I do technically have 6 Xbox controllers at my house right now.
6 sticks.
Yeah. 2 of them I bought, right? And then one I got like 2 years ago
Mhm.
as part of like I think it was one of those circumstances where I was like I requested one thing. I think it was like a uh a Switch controller, I think. I don't remember which one. And then they just like out of nowhere were like, "Here, it's Lucid Sound. Have a big fatty fucking have a whole ass Xbox controller and the headset with the matching color and a stand to put it up on." I'm like, "Why?" And okay.
Right.
Sure.
It's
I
awfully kind of them.
it sure is.
Yeah, this guy here. My blue guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The old blueberry.
Yeah.
It is nice.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what I bet the best part about it is that
Mm.
it doesn't drift.
Well, no, not yet.
A while ago I picked up a new PC controller because I didn't want to, have to deal with repairing things or figuring out the this was before the DualSense update thing that made it work better. So I got an 8-bit do controller, the
Nice.
Ultimate, which is basically a Switch Pro controller, and it is awesome.
Oh yeah, 8-bit do is great.
It is a fantastic controller, and it was like $30 on Amazon.
Speaking of 8-bit do, they're coming out with a Famicom keyboard. I think in like September. It's like $100, and it comes with like 2 huge buttons that you can like map to whatever function you want. It's like a giant A and B button.
Yeah, we were talking about this last time.
Yeah. Oh man, I want it. I
And you
want
can
it.
hook up like 8 of them. So you
Yeah.
could just have like a fucking drum set essentially in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, the 8-bit do Famicom controller. It looks so nice.
Yeah.
Pulling it up. Pulling it up.
Yeah.
I'm trying real hard.
Well,
Not seeing
listen,
it.
we're rooting for you.
Isn't
well.
it 8-bit dough?
It's either
I
do
mean,
or do.
it might be, but
Because it's not
you know.
Nintendo, and they started off as a company.
Oh, you got a point.
Yeah, they started off as a company making Switch controllers and whatnot.
Yeah, but 8-bit dough sounds weird. I don't know why.
Well, I'm gonna
That's
start
just-
calling it the Nintendo then.
Sure, man. Why not?
You're right.
They should have called it that instead of the DS. It's not dual screen. It's Nintendo.
All right. I don't hate that.
Yeah.
We can hope that
So-
the next machine is just called Nintendo.
Yeah.
It won't be.
No, it's gonna be something dumb.
I'm betting on Super Switch.
God, that would rip actually if they brought back the Super NES color
That's
scheme.
a kick-ass
It's a
name.
Super Switch. I would love that shit. And then every game that they release has to have Super in the name again. God, what a fucking renaissance. What a golden age that was.
What a time.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Super Mario.
Well, Switch 64.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Super Switch 64.
Super Switch Cube 64.
Super
Wow.
Switch 64 Arcade Edition. Man.
I don't care. Just bring it. Just bring it out.
Yeah.
This is related to news. Rhett, I don't know if you saw the news about the Metal Gear collection and how
Oh, yeah.
how bad it is.
How bad it is.
Yeah. How
Badass.
how bad the ports are.
Really?
Yeah, on the mainline consoles, it's going to be 720p. And on
That's
Switch,
stunning.
720p, 30 frames a second.
Right. That makes sense.
MGS2 ran at 60 on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And that game's like mechanics depend on it being 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
So it's going to be literally unplayable.
This is not giving me confidence about the MGS3 remake.
Well, it's probably two different teams, to be perfectly
Well,
honest.
we
Like,
can
I
hope.
don't think.
But it seems like Konami is just pushing the
Blue
cash
Point's
button.
doing Blue Point's doing the collection, right?
Are they?
Pretty sure.
Mm.
Pretty sure it was Blue Point. I was just reading an article on IGN about how sweet the collection was.
I
Really?
mean,
Yeah. I'll find the link and send it to you.
the IGN oftentimes are pretty ready to put extra gas in the tank when it's something that they're passionate about. Like they're,
Right.
they're ready to gas it up.
I feel you.
But
let me see if I can find it.
as we've recently discovered, there's a sort of like unavoidable bias occurring there that's sort of industry wide, and I don't really rag at them as much about that as I used to.
No. No, I remember a few years ago, just the mere mention of them would have steam coming out of your ears.
Yeah, me and IGN have a very similar problem, where I just tend to avoid games that I would likely score less than a 7. Right?
Right.
Like, oh, it's a piece of shit. I'm probably just not going to volunteer for it. I don't know, man.
Steam
if it's
says
a
the
surprise piece of shit.
Steam says the developer is just Konami
Just Konami, eh?
Yeah,
for the Master Collection.
yeah, they're not. Blue Point might be. I don't know what they're doing, but like, Konami's collections are generally very acceptable. But that's when it was all like NES, Super NES, Genesis, and arcade games like the Castlevania or like the Ninja Turtles collections or like Contra, where it's like, oh yeah, we've had emulation for that stuff locked down for like 20 years. You guys can't possibly fuck this up. Whereas like a PS2 game, a little dicier. It's a little harder. You need the right emulator, the right talent, the right, it's possible to fuck up, and so they're gonna, right? Because
Yeah.
developers are not good at emulation. Generally.
They're using the Blue Point version of MGS3, the HD
Okay.
version.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. I don't understand where you're getting this info from, though, Paul. That
I
people
heard the same thing.
really.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
That it
guy
was gonna
says, like
be
Konami's TMNT Cowabunga collection, I don't think any fan is going to be disappointed.
do they talk about specs?
MGS clearly having gotten a ton of love and attention for the first time since the Twin Snakes. It's MGS 2 and 3 are the Blue Point HD remakes. Looking for specs. Sounds like you're getting a lot of game. MGS Metal Gear Solid still displays natively in 4.3, which I kind of figured.
Maybe they might have backpedaled on this, or they might have put out clarifying information since I read this.
I
Let me
I
see.
would definitely believe that the Switch version of MGS2 is 720 and 30 frames. Like I would absolutely believe that.
Yeah, what do you mean? An issue from Konami, or a statement issued from Konami, has a 1080p 60 FPS target on all platforms except for the Switch.
A target?
A
A
little
target,
target,
you
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
Specifically on Switch, it runs at 720 30 FPS.
Okay.
yeah, because it's a garbage system for that.
Right, but it sounds like if you're playing it on anything that isn't a fucking um Nokia tablet, Lenovo
Yeah.
tablet, you're gonna be just fine. 1080p 60 FPS.
Well, there you go.
The Nvidia
That's
Shield.
better than I
Okay.
thought.
I mean, come on.
But
There's how like you said, how are you releasing a game that's literally fucking 22 years old, 25 years old, 30 years? I mean, I guess the original Metal Gears, those would be fine. But how are you going to release any of those solid games and not have them run at 60?
yeah, even the Switch is like orders of magnitude more powerful than a PS2 is.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the deal there?
Although, let's
Well,
be
for one
honest,
thing-
none of us were thinking, I'm going to pick up the Metal Gear collection on Switch.
Absolutely not.
No,
So-
no.
Whatever.
Contains a
was
warning
gonna
for content that may be considered
Yeah.
outdated.
I was gonna say
Which
I don't know that
content
the
I'd like
Switch
to
can-
know, because there's a lot of weird content in Metal Gear.
Oh yeah.
What else is
I
going
was
on in
gonna
the
say-
news, James?
Let's see. I dropped a ton of shit into the channel. There's a new trailer for Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. People are like salivating over this shit. They are bricked up for Phantom Liberty. And, I will absolutely give it a run, They're going to do vehicular combat. They're going to do like a new wanted level system with the police. They're going to like change how the fucking cyberware works. Like apparently the new area looks like super good, and so, I'm down. I'm down for sure.
Is it? Yeah, it's a loaded question, but this is probably like the game that they wanted to release, right? This is the kind of game that they wanted the original release to be. More
Yeah, I
flexible,
think
more stuff going on, not a piece of shit.
Yeah, I think they, based on how comparatively well it performed on PC, I think because they had to develop it for PS4 and Xbox One, that they were fucked. They didn't have a hope in hell of releasing a proper product in 2020. There was just no chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like the more games we have coming out that are like, oh no, this is only coming out for PS5, the more you're going to see things that are like, oh, that's slick as hell. That's crazy. It's crazy how they're able to make that look so good. I'm like, yeah, man. It's like
Happens.
it's like Immortals of Aveum is like PS5 or Xbox Series X S or whatever only, and it fucking shows, man.
Um, unrelated to this, I did
Yeah.
see earlier that somebody leaked a whole bunch of Starfield footage.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Codes are out in the wild. It's gonna happen.
But
Good.
it was like an hour long, like the first hour of the game, and
How'd it
so
look?
I didn't see it because it got pulled.
Ah,
I saw some varied commentary though.
oh, I bet.
Some, you know,
I bet.
the PlayStation boys are going, ah, that's just No Man's Sky, and the
Yeah.
Xbox are like, greatest game ever. You know, truth is somewhere in there, but
No, man, it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be fun, probably.
I did see a photo of someone who built a ship to look like the Millennium Falcon. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
that's fucking sick. Like, if I can make a ship look like whatever I want, as soon as I make 2 or 3 that are just a giant dick and balls, I'm gonna get really creative.
Mhm.
I just have to make 4 to 6 massive rocket-powered penises, and then the amazing ships are gonna be coming out of my shipyard, man. You wouldn't fucking believe.
Right
You
on.
know?
Right on.
I hope there's a nice hangar where you just store all your ships, and this
Mhm.
it's just the
One that's kinda
James's
like
hangar's just the bone zone.
yeah, one that's kinda, like, curved slightly to the left, one that's, like, circumcised, one that's not circumcised, one that needs, like, a trim.
Oh, yeah. You got your micro,
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
force cock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your showers versus your growers. Listen, the
Right.
plans are being drawn up as we speak.
Mhm.
Or I'll just make a Gundam. I mean, Christ, I have to make at least one Gundam.
Watch it just be the biggest fucking piece of shit you've ever played in your life.
I mean,
Watch it be like Redfall bad.
Ooh. Oh, don't say that, man.
Is that bad mojo?
Yeah.
Real bad mojo? Yeah.
I mean,
it's
some
not
people
gonna be
want
as
it to be that bad. I don't get that,
Mhm.
but
it's not gonna be that bad.
No.
You know how I know? Because this is a kind of game that Bethesda has at least made before, whereas the Redfall team had never done anything like Redfall before Redfall.
that's true. Also, for the first time in Bethesda's history, they spent an entire year polishing this thing.
Mhm.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out last year. Like the game was done last year, and they're like, no, it's coming out
Yeah, it's
next year
fucked.
because
Yeah.
we're gonna polish it. So
Probably
maybe it's
had
not coming in hot.
they probably had Big Phil just fucking breathing down their neck. They're like, we're not doing what you always do with your game launches. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
I don't think Pete Hines takes no shit from nobody. So, Pete being the guru of marketing at Bethesda.
Mm.
We'll see in like 10 days. The early access is in like 10 days or something.
Yeah. It's gonna be dope.
Any other news?
Let's see. Um, in news that's good for James specifically, Sonic Frontiers is apparently getting some crazy update because okay, there's Gamescom, there's a Gamescom Prezi today, and Sonic Frontiers is apparently getting a big fat free update. It's like their last one, and it's all about like you being able to play as different characters. It's like a whole new story being added onto it, and good cool shit coming in. And then Sonic Superstars got a release date, which I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I love more Sonic in my life. And the other thing I know about from the Gamescom Prezi is that Jeff had somebody rush the stage for the second time, which is bad. Is really bad because people are gonna not want to go to your fucking show, like big names, if there's no guarantee that some upstart shithead's not gonna like grab the mic and be like, Grand Theft Auto 6 when? Like a fucking living physical embodiment of a live stream comment, you fucking gutter troll. Yeah, like they need to have a security team. They need to have security. It's wild. It's completely wild to me that this was allowed to happen a second time.
Well, based on Jeff's tweets after the show, he's taking care of business because he said the person who rushed the stage will never be bothering anyone ever again, or something to that effect. Like it was that extreme. Like,
Well, for this recent one,
yeah,
the first one was the Bill Clinton thing, right?
Kid, yeah, the Bill Clinton
Yeah.
kid, yeah.
Dude, that kid is so fucking funny. I'm just gonna say it right now. He is
Yeah.
the man. Big shout out. Big shout out.
He's all over the internet all
Friend of
the
the show.
time, making all sorts
Yeah.
of
Oh,
all
huge
sorts-
friend of the show.
all-
Maybe we could get him on here. Maybe.
I don't know
I
if we'll get
promise
much
the-
done because he'll just be Bill Clinton.
'Cause it'll be the appearance will be baffling, insufferable, entertaining, and possibly enlightening, but probably mostly the first three. Seems to be his style of engagement.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
He lives to fuck with people. It's like his whole thing. It's his entire deal. I cannot imagine that person making a normal appearance on any form of media where he's like, yes, I will answer questions and cooperate. It's like, no, fuck no. He would come in blazing hot like a fucking comet trail, burn like permanent like slag holes like all over whatever fucking show or thing he shows up on, and just pop out the other door.
It's what we'd
That's
want,
it.
though. That's what you want.
Permanent
I mean-
slag holes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I'm sure that's at least mostly an act. But
So, yeah, there's a ton of shit. I dropped a link where it was just like, here's Gamescom opening night live. I wanna quickly look it up and give a breakdown of like what they announced. See if there's anything good, because I saw some headlines and I didn't quite catch all of it. Gamescom 2023. Jesus Christ. Okay. Here we go. All the new trailers and announcements. Thanks. Okay, so there was a live action Starfield trailer. Great. They announced Little Nightmares 3, which, if I don't know anybody here fuck with that series.
Little Nightmares 2 is really good.
Beat the first one.
First one was good too.
Yep.
Second one, very good.
Yeah. They gave release dates for Nightingale, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Sonic Superstars. Launch trailers for The Crew and Fort Solis, and another fucking trailer for Phantom Liberty. Apparently, they're launching a PC version of Marvel Snap, which is great news if you give a shit about card games. And
Yeah. Wow, that's a big story.
I mean, it's not, but there's people who are probably like super jazzed. Where it's like, oh fuck, now I can play it on my computer. That rips. Oh, it's like so jazzed. They did reveal a couple of things. Apparently, I'm
Oh, yeah?
looking at the list.
Bangers? Let's see. Let's hear them.
Let's
Didn't
see.
you just
what do we
say
got
Marvel
here?
Snap? What else do you need?
Well, I meant-
Well,
I meant
there's
above and beyond
fucking
that.
Hey, okay.
That's already set
Some
the bar
god-
very high.
some goddamn game about driving through mud, which I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Oh, is it?
Um,
Oh, wait. Hold on. Back up. Is that the next in like the SnowRunner line?
Expedition's a Mud Runner game.
Yeah. Well, there was Mud Runner, and then SnowRunner was kind of like the sequel to that, and so this is the next
Okay,
one.
so yeah, this is
That's
the next
cool.
Mud Runner game.
That's
Yeah.
actually cool.
Okay, great. I'm glad.
Open
I'm
world
glad.
off-road driving to accomplish tasks. Sounds like Smuggler's Run on PS2.
It's good stuff. Those games actually have really, really well designed physics systems in them.
Oh, cool.
Oh, there's a goddamn Quantic Dream game coming out in 2024 called Dustborn. And it's just like, oh boy, look at this. It's a fucking Quantic Dream
Hmm.
game.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the trailer starts with somebody making fun of the trailer voice going, "In a world," and you're like, okay, that's kind of all I really need to know.
Don't suppose there's any driving through the mud in that one, is there?
Doesn't looks pretty dry.
Cool.
Looks pretty dry, no mud.
Probably
Some
skip it
lady with
then.
a robot hand and
Nice.
somebody
Great
with
HJs.
vitiligo,
Mm-hmm.
There's no
which
actual driving through the mud, but there's a lot of anecdotal dragging through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there you go.
The genre, concepts, etc.
Gotcha.
So it's
Gotcha.
a Quantic Dream where people actually do the fight. They do the fighting. Fights happen. There's at least one fight scene, but so far only one fight scene, which took up about 7 seconds, and so much talking. So extremely a Quantic Dream game. Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know. Could be good. Could be garbage. Who fucking knows? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they also revealed something called "Thank Goodness You're Here." I have no idea what it is. It looks insane. It's they're doing a thing where you like change the channel a bunch of times and it's just like here's commercials for things that don't exist. Whoa, isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's all hand drawn animation style and it looks I have really no fucking idea what Thank Goodness You're Here is. I'm watching the trailer, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you a single thing about this game.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like I would check that out. But in
Yeah.
general, this is pretty weak for a Gamescom.
Well, I mean, they were pretty upfront about it not being a like new announcements thing. It's more like we're gonna focus on things. We're gonna show you new shit about existing stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're very like
Ah,
they were very upfront about that, which was a clear signal to not pay attention to the event, which I did not. Um, New gameplay trailer for Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, great looking character models, but like it's a Mortal Kombat game. You kind of know what to expect. I don't really feel
Game
like you need.
game does look good though.
it
Looks very
does.
good.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm extremely curious about Armored Core 6
Mm.
just because like is this going to find a sort of foothold with the From Software fans like the other games have, or is this going to be for mech nerds and mech nerds only? I mean, our boy Mark fucking
Mm,
loved it, but like
I think it would be silly of them not to think about the Souls fans when developing this one. Armored Core up to this point been so fucking niche.
yeah.
So niche. Uh so I would expect there to be a lot of boss battles with huge enemies. A lot of customization. Probably looks great.
A lot of particles.
Particles, yeah. Yeah.
I
Is it supposed to be open world?
it's very mission based.
Oh, okay. Like all the other ones.
Yeah, because like from what I understand, it's just like, well, a lot of your time is spent in the menu where you're
Oh
like
yeah.
perfecting your mech and like making it just exactly right, and then you go out and you do test runs and you figure out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
It's very Dark Souls in that you have to like do a lot of trial and error to figure out how to survive certain encounters and like win certain battles, and like failure is a sort of very important part of the process.
Right.
So it's Dark Souls in that fashion, but like, goddamn, I mean, it looks so slick, right? There's just
Yeah,
these
it does.
huge, crazy machines getting in big
Mhm.
battles.
I think the only time I've ever played an Armored Core game was as like off a PlayStation magazine demo disc.
PlayStation demo discs,
And,
absolutely.
You know, being like 8, 9 years old and having no clue what was
oh,
going on.
dude,
Like
losing every time.
like no idea. I'm sliding sideways and now I'm sliding the other way. What is going on? No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Do I have the capacity to understand it now? Doubtful.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's gonna be good. I'm sure it'll be good.
You said Mark liked it. Like, did he review it? Reviews are out on this?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is the review out though? Were we supposed to say that?
I feel like they went live a while ago.
I don't think so, James. Nope.
So that was just a hypothetical though. Like we think if I had to take a guess, our guy Mark, he probably liked it.
The mech guy.
Yeah, exactly. He likes mechs. He likes robots.
Yeah. Anyway,
You know. At this point, I mean, it really is tough to excuse me, it really is tough to imagine Miyazaki doing any wrong, you know?
did I see that he announced?
Is it a Miyazaki joint, or is this just a?
I thought so.
Yeah, like
I could be
is
wrong.
it one of those things where it's like another guy in the team is gonna take this one? I'm gonna hang back. Like I have no idea.
I thought because wasn't he on stage when they announced it?
Possibly.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I thought I heard, but I may have dreamed this that they announced Elden Ring 2.
Oh, so I was actually just talking to my friend Zach yesterday about that. So yeah, it's like I guess it's not there hasn't been an official announcement, but sort of through the grapevine, whisperings have been heard about an Elden Ring 2. Yeah, he was saying that it's like all but confirmed at this point.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. But they got to get around to that fucking DLC first for Elden Ring 1. Apparently that shit is like so big it's basically going to be a second game.
Yeah, right. Where it's just like there was just like he was in an interview and it was just like, well, we're saving some of that for the next game, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not like exactly a sequel announcement, but I get it.
Huh. Still bounced right off that game. I don't know.
Elden Ring didn't get you? Didn't grab you by the balls?
It did not.
No.
I rode once I found the space horse, how to summon the space horse. Things were much better.
Right.
Because you can really cheese a lot of shit with the horse.
Oh yeah.
Just drive by on every enemy in the game. Most of the bosses.
Totally. Basically any boss that allows you to be on the horse, any of the like open world bosses, there's going to be at least one way to cheese them while on horseback.
All about that.
Yeah. I feel you.
Because I did not design my character well.
Oh, dude, by the end of the game, mine was so fucking bad. I just know I made all the wrong decisions. I put all the points into all the wrong things. Definitely needed somebody to come in and two-player most of the end shit with me because my character sucked. And I wasn't willing to fucking go online and figure out what I should have done better and respec. I just didn't care enough. You know? I loved it for like the first like 70 hours in the opening area. I was a big fan of it. Once I moved past that, man, just felt like I was just grinding through it, just for the sake of beating it, you know?
Well, these things happen.
James, I know you put what 500 hours into it.
Yes. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Completely muted. So here, I'll answer for him. Yes, I put 500 hours into it. I absolutely loved it.
130 hours.
Sorry,
130 hours.
I was
new
close.
Game plus 2 times. Beat that motherfucker to death. I actually beat it the second time specifically to have a character fresh and ready for the fucking DLC whenever it comes out, if it ever comes out.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
They need to figure out multiplayer in their games, though. I am sick of this whole fucking like in Elden Ring. You had to like what? You had to get the finger, and then you had to fucking like finger your friend's asshole before you could summon them into the game. It was crazy. It was crazy. Like I
Yeah,
don't need
you-
all that. Just let me open
you-
up the menu, invite, party system, done. And enough of that. You beat a boss and they kick your party member out. Enough of that. Okay? That's done. No more.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Especially
Insane.
a game designed like Elden Ring. That's perfect for co-op.
And yeah, and it's not like the person gets kicked out of the game and then you can't immediately bring them back in. You can. So what the fuck is the point of that? Why kick somebody out after a boss fight when literally 5 seconds after they get kicked out, you're just summoning them back into the game?
FromSoft, baby.
because I think they would prefer. I think it's their way of being like, well, you really should be doing this yourself. You know, you could bring somebody in for a boss fight, but then you should get back to the lonely road. Where you're just like navigating by fucking notes and markers and endless online guides.
But they'll fucking power up the bosses to match like a two-player party. I think what was 2 players all you could do? Or could you have 4 people? 2, 3. So yeah,
I never did more than 3. Yeah.
so it wasn't like you were fucking getting 3 people in there and then having an easy time with the one player level boss.
Fuck no, the bosses were 3 times harder.
Yeah.
That's how it went. You get 3 people, 3 times harder.
Yeah.
I fucking the only way I was able to beat the final boss on my second go round is I had to roll the dice, get a really amazing second, and then just sort of like pick away at the dude from a long distance with certain spells while the other guy just sort of went in like right up close and just performed perfectly. Just like did a perfect run while I'm just like running around the outside dodging strikes trying to stay alive
Yeah.
and just doing chip damage while this guy's just like perfect combo blah and it's just like I'm just watching. I'm a fucking spectator. I'm not really part of this.
I think maybe that's what I don't like about those games is there's so many ways to cheese it, but it's so self-serious about its difficulty. You know? If you have the God Melter spell, whatever that spell is that just like melts bosses in a half second,
Yeah.
like you're cruising. So why take it so seriously?
I think the only people who take it seriously are the fans.
That might be true. Might be
I
true.
don't I think the people who make the game are very much like anybody can do this with a little time and patience. Whereas like Dark Souls fans are like, get good, fucker, and it's just like a very different attitude. They're saying the same thing, but like the tone is completely different from one to the other.
Are you saying that people are hostile on the internet? I don't
Yes.
believe that.
Yes.
Okay, maybe they are. Last thing that just came across my radar, there was a Destiny 2 showcase today.
Really?
Another?
Yep, talking about the final shape, aka the last piece of the Destiny 2 story.
Mm.
Sounds like it actually adds a significant amount of stuff to the game in a way that the last several expansions have not. Bunch of new supers, bunch of story stuff, a different episode story cadence structure.
So is this just like them being, well, this is the last one, we'd better do it right, so they
Yep.
throw it all in?
Yep.
Okay.
Does this mean the Destiny 3 could potentially be on the way?
I want to say yes because I want to play a Destiny 3. I don't
Mhm.
think so though. I feel like they'll keep pumping out additional content, different side stories and stuff once the main story has kind of wrapped up because they're making Marathon. Also heard that they're making some other co-op shooter game that's a little bit more lighthearted.
Marathon, that's a game?
Yeah,
Mhm.
right? Marathon? Is that what it's
That
called?
Lance
Yeah,
Armstrong game?
it's
Nothing?
it's it's the it's the one where you're all going in and
Yeah, the
um
extraction shooter.
extraction shooter. Jesus, I could not remember the name of it for the life of me. But it's that genre that just popped up out of nowhere like less than a year ago.
James, what do you got in that flask? It seems like you're starting to fade.
I'm feeling
Seems like
fresh as Hey, listen. Hey, listen here. I am fresh as a fucking daisy, all right? I
I
am
love it.
feeling
I love it.
footloose and fancy free. I am ready to rock and roll. I do not have a lot to say about Destiny. If it seems like I am fading, it is because I do not have much input on this particular topic of conversation.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't been involved in Destiny in years now. I can't add much to this.
I was gonna say probably they will not do a Destiny 3 until there's some sort of step forward they can take that they feel like this is really worth putting out a new game for.
Right.
Or so I'd like to believe. I'm under the impression that that Bungie has not completely scooped out their soul with a melon baller yet,
Mm.
and that there's some spark inside them collectively that says we need to do something new and different for the third game, or just never make a third game and do something completely new and different.
What are the player numbers still like, Paul?
I'm sure they're pretty good today because a new season just kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
It was dipping pretty low though. Um,
Mm.
near the end of this past season, people are not thrilled with the last content update. You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is though. All these games are gonna have the peaks and valleys. Um,
Hmm.
at least like a year ago, it was still way up there as far as looter shooter games goes. So yeah, I mean they have to do something with Destiny 2. It's long in the tooth. It's been out
Yeah.
forever,
Oh
and
yeah.
they are working real hard to keep the lights on in that thing. There's a lot of
Was it
downtime.
2018 when it came out?
I feel like it's
20.
even older than
I
that.
think I feel like it was like 2013.
No,
Destiny 2,
2013 was
no,
Destiny
no, no, no,
1.
no. Yeah. 20, maybe 2017, but 2017,
2017.
2018.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2013 must have been Destiny 1. Um, yeah, they're like barely keeping the lights on in this thing. It crashes a lot. There's a lot of downtime. Anytime they do updates, it takes hours. So
Shit.
they're really pushing the limits of what that engine can do.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they were going to make a Destiny 3, they're probably using other projects to like explore what's possible and then
Right.
decide like, can we actually make something that's significantly better than what we already have?
Right.
But anyway.
Interesting.
Guys, I feel like we're running out of steam here, and maybe it's time to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
James is human Pez dispenser on the old flask there, so reverse Pez dispenser.
Yeah, what'd you have in there? What was that? Apple juice tonight or what?
Yeah, Cuddy Sark apple juice.
Nice.
Oh,
Delicious.
James. It's a classic James move.
Yeah.
Anybody who's watching tonight, come by the stream later. Probably get it going at 9:30 p.m. Pacific, because tonight we will be playing a wonderful little game called Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. And I invite you all to come and check it out. It's magic. It's a magical one. Yeah. The
Okay.
3DO masterpiece.
Oh wow.
3DO, you say?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's fucking classic.
Plumbers don't wear
An
ties.
interactive
Arguably-
romantic comedy.
Arguably the worst game ever made. So I highly recommend y'all come and check it out.
Whoa,
Yeah.
buddy, those are some big shoes to
Big,
fill.
big shoes to fill, and I'm serious. Arguably the worst game ever made. Come on by.
Plumbers don't wear ties. Plumbers don't wear ties. God, I had to burn that in my brain.
Yeah.
Worst game ever made. Fuck, man.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing that either live or in the VOD.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for watching and or listening. It's been a pleasure being here. Been a pleasure being back online and chatting about games and stuff. So we hope you'll join us next time. And in the meantime, see Rhett on the stream.
Yeah.
Give him shit
You
for
know,
his
and,
game
hey,
choices or praise him. I don't
Excuse
know.
me.
I don't know. Maybe this game's gonna be the best.
Maybe we'll see both of you on the stream at some point too, as well, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, you just name the time, and assuming I don't have a prior commitment of the utmost importance, I will absolutely fucking be there.
Well, Paul and I, let's get a fucking Baldur's Gate campaign going. And James, you're gonna have to get the game on PC, my friend. I'm sorry.
I don't wanna.
You're just gonna have to do it.
No.
There's
We're gonna have
there's
to
no
do it.
option here.
There's no option.
Yes.
We need no.
Yeah.
We can't have a COG Connect or not a COG Connect. We can't have a Press X to podcast Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough and not have you in there.
I know you've got enormous roleplay chops, James. Like
I
you're-
know. I feel like you'll quickly become the team captain.
It'll make my computer run as hot as a fucking furnace.
Blow a fan on it.
We talked about this. You've got the AC unit right behind you.
Yeah,
Everything's
set it on
gonna
top.
be a-okay.
Right? You'll be fine. Turn all the settings to low. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
turn
run
it
like a
down to
fucking-
Switch settings and
There you go.
Yeah. Run it like a PS1 game.
No, honestly, I tested it out on low, and I thought it still looked pretty good. It really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
and you can use a controller on the PC if you want.
Yep.
Why would you do that?
For
not really that kind of
for
game,
reasons. No, it's
I
not.
guess.
But you could.
You could. You could.
All right. We'll workshop this. We'll workshop this, and we'll get back to you on the old
Yeah,
Baldur's
baby.
Gate playthrough.
Please.
So yeah, thanks everybody for watching and or listening. We appreciate you. We will see you right back here next time for Press X the podcast. See you later.